Hello and welcome back to EdenBound. We will be continuing where we left off, which, if you recall, is after Eli had the quote-unquote dreams, these visions, and apparently he was missing for like 3 weeks, I think? He was missing for a while. So who knows how that was happening and why nobody actually thought to go to his apartment and check. I mean, one of his friends did say that he was gonna break in, but that was literally like right when he woke up, so like a little too late. He might have been gone, you never know. But yeah, he was having dreams about what I personally am assuming are memories of other people. And if you heard what I said for the outro of the previous video, if you were able to decipher the names of that get garbled up, or if you are able to sort of discern what I am saying, because I already know what the alphabet is, I managed to figure it out, and I didn't cheat, but I managed to figure it out. Then you should be able to figure out who they're talking about and what their connection to Eli is. So that's why I kind of feel like they're memories that he's experiencing. And, but yeah, there's nothing that's been confirmed or denied yet. We just know that people are sort of like, hey, where did you go? You've been missing for like a while now. We keep texting you in the group chat. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, let's continue EdenBound and see how this goes, how this talk with Monty goes. The doors open as you head inside the quiet, empty bar. Monty turns around from behind the counter and faces you, wineglass and polishing cloth in hand. Eli, how are you feeling? Been a while since anyone's heard from you. Have you been taking care of yourself? Monty places the freshly polished wine glass back onto the shelf behind him, then grabs a nearby stray rocks glass he mindlessly carries onto the next piece of glassware to endlessly polish. It feels like I was just here. How has it been 3 weeks? What happened while I was gone? Nothing really. Same old, same old. Your buddies kept asking if you'd stop by. What do you mean gone? Did you go somewhere? Yeah, I guess. A flurry of words and thoughts swirl around in your head, not knowing where to begin or how to navigate this conversation without coming off as crazy. You don't remember Matthew, do you? Monty shakes his head. The guy you brought up last time? No. Thought so. I'm just checking. No one remembers him except for me. I can't find any trace of him even ever existing either. Right. Stephen filled me in. Even after he was gone, I swear that I could hear his voice, like some kind of vague echo in my head. But it has to be him. Eli, I'm not taking this lightly. None of this is normal. I really think that you should run some kind of medical diagnostics with an Edenoid. They're really good at picking up and treating these kinds of things. I don't need a diagnosis. I need you to listen to me. I know none of this is normal. Nothing's been normal for years. Look at what's happening to Eden. What are we supposed to do? There isn't a single person who can even begin to understand what's going on. Reckon most people are just trying to take it day by day instead of going mad trying to figure it out. All you can really do. Right before I disappeared, I fell, and suddenly it was like I was in another Eden, except it was dark and dusty. Disappeared? I don't know. I just wasn't here. It doesn't even feel like a day's passed, and suddenly it's been 3 whole weeks. There were these other dogs there. It was just like how things used to be. Sounds like you were just feeling a little nostalgic. It's normal to dream about the past. Maybe one of the most normal things to dream about, really. No, Monty. I don't think that these are dreams. I have no memory of falling asleep. Things aren't lining up. Everything is too specific, too vivid. I told you before, they must just be things that you've forgotten about, coming back to the surface. It happens to everyone. I promise you, I've never seen any of these people before. then they're probably just made up. Maybe you're just got a creative spirit inside of you, begging to come out. Perhaps you should dabble in the arts a little. You start to lose your composure. You sigh and pause for a moment, trying to collect your thoughts after being dismissed once again. Every time I'm about to wake up, or come back or whatever, it's like there's another me. Monty tilts his head and his posture shifts. He pulls a cloth out of the rock glasses and sets them both down onto the counter, now giving you his undivided attention. Another you? Monty adjusts his glasses and leans forward. His eyes narrow in on you as he was focusing intently on you. Maybe? I can never get a good look at it, but You involuntarily trail off. Another piercing shriek violently bounces around the inside of your head. You struggle to breathe as you briefly lose control of your lungs. Eli? Is anything triggering these voices? Anything specific? No, it's been happening a lot more lately, though. It's like someone's trying to call out to me. Several people. I see. Are you starting to believe me yet? Eli, don't say it like that. It's not that I don't want to believe you, it's just... I know, it doesn't make any sense. You can always talk to me. I hope you still know that. I've known you as long as I can remember, I know. Monty turns and reaches for another glass to polish during the brief lull in conversation. You ruminate for a moment. Do you remember much about Earth? Monty brings his paw up to his muzzle and scratches at his bearded chin while wistfully looking off to the side. As much as I'd like to say yes, I have to admit that it's getting fuzzy at best. A few things here and there, maybe an old friend or two. What were things up like there? Well, it was alright. Not the best, not the worst. Kind of unfair to compare it after being here for so long. Oh. What else? It was pretty spacious. Nothing like how Eden used to be. I'd almost say that it was overcrowded here, compared to Earth anyway. Spacious? I thought that I heard that it was overpopulated. Do you not remember? I tried. I don't remember anything about Earth. Nothing at all? No. I see. Monty takes off his glasses and picks up the rag from the bar. He uses his breath to fog up the lenses before wiping them clean and setting them back on his snout. He sniffles, his expression unchanging. That's a shame. Never feels good to forget. What's got you asking about Earth? I've just been hearing things in my head. Right. In your head. You clear your throat and steady your voice, thinking to yourself how ridiculous you must sound. Par for the course. Does the name Akiyama sound familiar to you? Monty furrows his brow and pauses for a moment. Can't say that it does. Then again, I've served hundreds of thousands of people. Can't remember them all. Do you know anything about the history of Eden? Or is there any kind of archive or something? Sorry, I don't. They've always kept something pretty vague. Shipped us all to paradise and that was the end of it. The less that we know, the better, I guess. There must be some kind of database out there, surely. Probably kept under some kind of strict protections. Maybe we could ask Stephen for help with that. No, that isn't really his thing. He hates when people ask him to hack things. Oh, I see. Must not want people getting the wrong idea. Monty chuckles to himself. Have you never been curious about any of this? Ask me that a few hundred years ago, and I'd sure that I would be. Now, I'm just a lonely old bartender, stuck here on the moon like the rest of us. I found my place. All that doesn't concern me anymore, but I'm right behind you if you find anything interesting. Yeah, thanks, Monty. You look up at the large dog standing in front of you and make prolonged eye contact. You see the wrinkles by his eyes scrunch up as he smiles. You can practically feel an aura of warmth radiating from his gentlemanly figure. Sorry. It seems like I'm only ever come to you for advice or just to kind of talk at you. Shh, I'm used to it. All comes with being a bartender. Personally, I love it. It's nice to feel wanted. But I wouldn't be opposed to spending some quality time together soon, if that's what you're implying. You know, I always love to share a bottle or two. Like, right now? Oh, you seem like you got a lot going on. Also, I hate to admit it, but my apartment is a bit of a mess right now. Been doing some reorganizing. I could help out if you want. It's the least that I could do. My, how chivalrous. Normally I'd accept, but it's, my pride's on the line here. I'd rather not embarrass myself. Monty shakes his head and lets out a brief chortle. Got anything else for me? No, I think I'm good. I'll keep you updated. Want a drink before you head off? Tea? Coffee? It's okay. Thanks again. Take care, Eli. You brush yourself off and head back outside. With an effortless gesture, you open up your AR interface and stare at the list of unreturned messages. You bring up your fingers to the screen and tap on an old chat log. You close it after shortly, then move on to the next one, trying to think of who to reach out to, or what to even say. You repeat this for a few cycles before shutting down your interface. Whatever. I'll get to those later. I need to think. With no particular objective in mind, you continue walking in the direction opposite of home. It's not often you come out this way, but breaking your usual routine seems like a good way to pass the time. Although you only spend a very brief amount of time away, your mind is completely fixated at the wonders of wherever you just were. What used to feel like tired banality has turned into something greater, an intense yearning for something so out of reach. Things that weren't even yours. Oh, to just go back. You find your way back to the bridge leading to the outskirts. Despite having seen this exact view just moments ago, albeit a bit washed out, it feels like it's just been a while since you really have been here. You turn towards the city, then look outwards towards the fringes of Eden. Out towards the horizon, several grassy islands are speckled amongst the calm waters. Distant trees stand tall, the edges of their leaves sparsely lit by the blinding lights of the even taller neon pillars. You look even further out to the faraway silhouette of Decidius, the only solace from the ever-present lurid lights of Eden. Eh? On the other end of the bridge, a distracted Edenoid perks up at the sight of you and promptly floats over. Its movements are noticeably more animated than what you'd expect from the other spherical robots of its kind.
Hello?
Hey? As the Edenoid gets closer, you notice several arbitrary splatters of color splashed onto its metallic casing. Its holographic ears are considerably more flexible and expressive than the others of its kind, too. I don't need help with anything right now.
Okay.
The Edenoid rotates on a steady axis back and forth a few times, as if it's trying to look at you from different angles. What's up with this thing? It should have left by now. Goodbye?
What? Don't be rude.
The robot snaps back, completely catching you off guard. Sorry? Your one-word apology could easily come off as disingenuous. It mostly is, not out of callousness, but out of sheer confusion.
That's okay. I hope I didn't scare you.
No, it's fine. What are you?
I am an Edenoid. Haven't you met one before?
It's not what I mean. You're talking to me.
All of us can talk.
No, all of you can respond. You aren't supposed to talk.
Then I don't know what to tell you. I am an Edenoid.
Yeah, but you're different.
I don't feel different.
That's what I mean. I don't think you're supposed to feel anything. What are you doing out here?
I don't know. What are you doing out here?
I don't know.
Hmm.
The Edenoid continues to hover in place, holding a firm gaze on you, It continues staring for an uncomfortably long amount of time. You periodically break eye contact and turn away to look anywhere else. No matter how long you look away, every time you turn back, the robot lights up. Eyes have not moved. Do you need something?
You look familiar.
I mean, I've been around a while. Not exactly hard to spot me either.
No, not here. In the network.
Oh, on the EdenNet? Like my social profile?
No, I mean, in the network.
Aren't you all connected to some kind of hive mind?
Yeah,
And you're also programmed to know everyone on Eden?
that's right.
So that makes sense then.
Yep.
The robot's unflinching gaze finally gets interrupted with a flash of cyan. An alert appears on its screen, too far away for you to read. It quickly reverts back to normal.
Well, gotta go. Take it easy.
The Edenoid turns around and winds back before shooting off towards the outskirts. That was weird. Before the Edenoid flies too far away, you quickly pull up your interface and start up the camera. You zoom in and take a blurry photo of the robot. Not your best work, but anything will do. You switch back to your interface home screen and reopen the chat application. You open up Steven's chat log and stare at the old messages for a few seconds. You attach the photo and start typing out a message, then erase everything before closing down your interface again. Damn, I forgot about the elephant in the room. Everyone's gonna think that I've gone insane. No one's seen me in 3 weeks. The hell am I supposed to say? You pace around on the bridge for a while, trying to kill more time. Everyone's been talking. What have they been saying about me? I just want things to be normal. Can't I just act like nothing happened? No, they're definitely gonna pry. Steven and Lane worry all the time and Dylan's just nosy. Then it's gonna be hours of trying to convince them that I'm not a lunatic. Or I could lie. Not like they'd understand anyway. Think I'm on my own for this one. You sigh. Maybe Monty's right. Should have asked that weird Edenoid to run a med scan. Or I could just go into the woods and never come back. Your mind continues to race with an unending stream of thoughts and possible outcomes. You lean over the bridge's rails as you stew away inside of your own fevered mind. The view has gotten stale. Everything has gotten stale. You space out and stare into the rippling, starry skies perfectly mirrored in the channel beneath you. You planning on jumping? Whoa, holy shit. You know that won't work anyway, right? Unless you're just going in for a swim, then don't let me stop you. Ha! The paunchy corgi lets out a boisterous belly laugh. You take a second to catch your breath and gather your wits. Yeah, no, I'm fine. You don't look fine. What's gotten you out this far? Don't think I've ever seen you come out this way. I'm just wondering, thinking. Thinking good or thinking bad? Thinking neutral. I don't know. You already stopped by Monty. Figured that you'd be here of all places. Yeah, we talked for a bit. Just came from there. How'd you even find me? Just happened to see you walk past. Imagine my surprise no one ever comes out here anymore. Why do you even live this far out? You'd probably see us more if you moved in a bit. Ah, just got used to the old place, I guess. I like to be close to the outskirts too. Less of a trek to get to the observatory. Observatory? You're into astronomy? Oh no, not me. Have you met Robert? Nope. I've heard about him from Monty, though. Nothing specific. Figures. Those two have known each other for a long time, since their younger days on Earth. Really? He's never really talked about him that much. Robert's a bit of a loner. Probably just didn't want to draw too much attention to him. I don't think that he's come into the city for centuries now. Poor fella. Is he okay out there? Oh yes, I try my best to keep him company. Think he just wants me out of his fur sometimes, but I'm not letting up. Ha! Did you know him from Earth too? No, we met through Monty. Charlie briefly stares off into the outskirts behind you. You see his squinted eyes just barely part before he turns around and starts to march away. Come, walk with me. You stand there for a second and glance at the corgi's undulating backside as he takes several short strides back towards the city. Don't fall behind, lad. It only takes a few steps to catch up to Charlie. You take care to slow down your typical walking pace so as not to overtake the stubby dog now beside you. Where are we going? Just back to my place. I've told you before, you're good company. Also, you look like you could use a friend right now. What does that mean? Boy, you're not doing a good job of hiding it. Never seen someone look so ruffled. Why does everyone keep saying that? This is what I always look like. No, something's different. It's all over your face. Your eyes especially. You sleeping properly? No, sleeping's kinda been hell lately. Huh, that's no good. Rest is important, you know. In moderation, of course. It's not long before you reach Charlie's building. The lift only goes up one floor before you come up to the hallway leading to his apartment. Amber lights stream through the cracks in the door as it splits apart. A toasty gust envelops your face, like a sultry caress upon your furred cheeks. With a deep inhale, you detect traces of warm spices lingering in the air, not enough to overwhelm your sensitive nose, but just subtle enough to comfort your tired heart. On the way in, Charlie reaches into a glass cabinet and grabs a bottle of red wine. The deep, velvety liquid inside sloshes around as it meets the bottle's cork, halfway protruding from its spout. Charlie delicately grabs the cork and twists it back and forth a few times, gently pulling until the bottle reopens with an audible pop. You want a glass? Sure, just one, thanks. Attaboy, make yourself comfortable. Charlie grabs a couple of wine glasses and pours a good serving of wine into each of them. He hands one to you and clinks them together. Cheers. Thanks. Charlie swirls the wine around in the glass. He partially sticks his snout inside and takes a deep breath, taking time to appreciate the aromas before going in for a sip. You take a seat on his couch and awkwardly sit there, your tail anxiously thumping on the plush seat. Not a fan of red. No, red's fine. You bring the wine glass to your muzzle and take a sip. An intense astringency immediately coats your tongue. Rich, fruity aromas of blackberries and plum come next. It's surprisingly smooth on the way down. Heard from Monty that you haven't been around for a while. Started thinking that you might have vanished. That's the weird part. I don't have any memories of the last 3 weeks. It feels like they didn't even happen. Like the days just blend together and really fly by, yeah? Sounds about right. You've been keeping yourself busy with anything? Not really, no. You sit there and continue wordlessly sipping on the wine. A rising guilt starts to build up in your gut. Sorry. I feel like I'm kind of wasting your time. I just wasn't expecting to be here like this. Loosen up, little. I'm not making you talk or anything. It's just no good being alone. I won't keep you if you really want to go, but I would be a little disappointed. I still owe you a proper dinner. Have you eaten? You have the startling realization that you haven't eaten anything in 3 weeks. You've been gone. However, you don't feel any hungrier than you normally would on an empty stomach. No, not in a while. Bad sleep and an empty stomach. No wonder you're out of it. Charlie puts down his glass of wine and unzips his vest jacket before taking it off. He opens a kitchen drawer and pulls out a black, striped apron. Let me fix you something up. He slips its head through the apron strap and begins to reach around his waist. He struggles for a moment, then manages to tie it up and secure the apron to his body. Charlie rummages through the various drawers and cabinets in his kitchen and starts laying out various bowls and devices. He whistles along to the tune of the easygoing music coming through his apartment's speakers. Charlie starts fiddling with his apartment's interface and pulls out a spread of ingredients from various compartments behind the kitchen island. You a picky eater? Anything you don't like? No, anything's fine. You take another drink of wine and watch as Charlie skillfully chops and sautés various vegetables in a carbon steel pan. The pan sizzles and sputters as a cloud of steam rises up and into the foam hood. You catch a few whiffs of fragrant herbs and onions, slightly sweet, vaguely peppery. You don't have to do all this, you know. Please, I want to. All you eat is that materialized slop. You need something new, something from the heart. Heat starts to build up in your chest and you feel your cheeks flush, probably as a result of the wine in your system. You soften your expression and look fondly at Charlie. The orange of his fur glows in the warm light, highlighting the aged wrinkles on his face. You're like a dad. Huh? Charlie's eyes squint at the corners of his mouth, raise into a wide grin. He exhales before exploding in uproarious laughter. Well, don't say it like that. Could make things weird. Charlie winks, then turns back to the sizzling pan on the stove. You aren't wrong, though. Your ears and eyebrows both raise together in unison. Really? Yup, back on Earth. Long time ago. Had a granddaughter, too. Our little Riley was such a blessing. I never got to see her grow up before coming up here. You've never talked about them before. That was hundreds of years ago. It's just a distant memory now. I try not to think about it too much. No good dwelling on it, you know. Charlie continues to maneuver around the kitchen with ease. He turns around and grabs his glass of wine. He pours a splash of it into the hot pan, stripping it of its caramelized fond. The contents of the deglazed pan start to simmer as a mouth-watering, meaty scent wafts its way to your nose. Wasn't it hard, leaving it all behind? Maybe one of the hardest things that I've ever did. But I was getting old. Got randomly selected and my daughter pushed me to come up. Don't think that they wanted me dying on them. Said that she and Ruby would be happier knowing that I'm in a good place. I really hope that they meant it. Ruby? My granddaughter. Riley? Charlie freezes and pauses for a second. He shakes his head and lets out a low chuckle. You caught me. Guess I really don't remember much after all. Ruby, Riley. Honestly, I'm not even sure if I'd be able to pick them out in a crowd. It's uncanny, almost disturbing how unfazed Charlie seems to be. Charlie lifts a wooden spoon from the rich glossy pan sauce and delicately blows on it before giving it a taste. How about you? Any family back home? You blankly stare forward and sigh. Nope, not that I remember. No faces, no names. Not just family, either. It's hard to even call Earth home. Everyone talks about missing it, but it's like there's nothing for me to miss. You turn and gaze out the window. The vast blue and green planet looks down at you, so unknown and so out of reach. Home's different for everyone. It's not always a place. Could just be a feeling. A nice hearty meal, some good laughs with friends, anywhere you feel like you belong. Would be nice to feel like I even belong anywhere. Everyone's got some kind of history, some kind of connection to Earth. So, why don't I? Do I really just forget everything? I'd almost consider that lucky. Charlie switches the burner off and picks up his wine glass. He takes another sip and sets it back down before turning around to begin plating the entrees. Better than having to know exactly what you don't know. Broken, scattered pieces or an empty hole. Take your pick. Pretty shitty options. Aren't they? Charlie spoons a hefty serving of buttery mashed potatoes along with some evenly browned slices of carrot onto a matte black plate. He places 3 slices of medium rare roast beef onto the fluffy bed of mash, then drapes a lavish, velvety blanket of red wine pan sauce over the dish. The sauce cascades down the grooves of the potatoes perfectly coating the meat and pulling into the various crevices in the mountain of starch. Charlie scoops up 2 sprigs of fresh parsley and gingerly sprinkles onto the now completed dish before presenting it to you. This'll patch you right up. A home-cooked meal is like medicine for the soul, something all this Eden tech can never replace. The still steaming plate makes its way to you, a brilliant sheen glazed over every part of the dish. Your mouth starts to water as a delightfully savory aroma overwhelms your senses. You stare at the plate in front of you, mouth agape. A string of drool escapes your mouth and drips down towards your lap. You try to catch it but fail. Charlie notices and grins. Don't be shy. Just eat. It takes all of your self-restraint to not just rapidly scarf down the entree. You compose yourself and slice into the meat, portioning out a reasonable bite along with the other components of the dish. You bring the fork to your mouth and take a bite. Your cheeks immediately start to hurt as your savory glands go into overdrive. The pain only lasts a second before a huge wave of pleasure floods over your tongue. Smooth and salty, the decadent pan sauce coats the inside of your mouth. You start to chew. Faintly gamey, yet intensely umami juices burst out of the roast meat, delicately infusing itself into the creamy, buttery potatoes. Good? Still chewing your food, your eyes water up as you wordlessly nod your head. Beaming with approval, Charlie smiles and starts to dig into his own plate. Your teeth sink into a piece of roasted garlic. A slight pungency, complemented with its caramelized sweetness, weaves into the harmonious blend of flavors dancing around in your varied senses. You finally swallow. On the way down, you can feel the love and warmth in the dish kiss a part of you much deeper than your stomach. You withhold a satisfied groan, but succumb to your pleasures and let out one anyway. Oh, damn. That's good. Charlie lets out a hearty guffaw. Glad to hear. You're reminded of cold winter evenings spent indoors, a blazing hearth, its licks of flame kissing your fur and staving off harsh frost. Echoes of time spent with loved ones, reveling in collective jubilance as you share stories over robust feasts. You feel a wave of relief wash over you, as if your very core has been uplifted. If it makes you feel any better, I barely remember much about Earth either. I don't know if anybody here does. You sigh. Do you ever want to go back? Well, I'm sure everybody does, at least a little bit. Everyone gets a little homesick. Yeah. Your eyes dart to the side and you stop eating for a moment. The dizzy feelings of uncertainty start to brew in your head. Homesick for things that we can't even remember. Sounds a little silly putting it that way. Just gotta keep moving forward. We'll be alright. Charlie changes back into his typical attire as you two continue to eat away. You savor the meal, really taking the time to appreciate the love and care put into it. You scrape the plate clean and, tragically, it comes to an end. Although you still feel weighed down by your seemingly infinite fatigue, it feels as though a different weight has been lifted off of your shoulders. Charlie empties out the remainder of the wine bottle into your glass to sip away at it as the food settles in your stomach. I'm telling you, materializers are convenient, but they can't live up to something made with a little work. I'm kinda scared to go back to Eden food. You might have spoiled me a bit too much. There's a lot more spoiling where that came from, if that's your game. Charlie lets out another deep chortle. A fluttery sensation rises up in your chest, unsure whether he's flirting with you or merely being flippant. Oh, I mean, thanks for dragging me along. Dragging you? Huh? Not like that. I just meant that I don't really do anything myself. Never really have. I'm just messing with you. Just try not to spend too much time alone, you hear? Time with other people, it's precious. Charlie pensively stares into the wine in his glass while passively swirling it around in its vessel. He tilts his head back and finishes up his wine before standing up and straightening out his shirt. He lets out a deep sigh. You're welcome to stay and get some sleep. More than welcome to the couch, or to the bed, If you're okay with sharing, You reciprocate with a polite laugh, still unable to discern his actual intent. Either way, his teasing is making your cheeks flush under your fur. I'm gonna get freshened up. Feel free to help yourself to another bottle while I'm gone. Thanks, Charlie. You sit back down on the couch while Charlie turns and walks towards his room. You look down the corridor and catch a quick glimpse of him undressing as he continues walking. You turn away at the risk of him catching you peeping. Now alone, you blankly stare forward and still your nerves. You rapidly tap your foot while your tail repeatedly thumps on the couch. You think back on Charlie's words. Time with other people. It's precious. You finally twist your wrist and open your interface. Added Dylan, Steven, and Lane to a group. Hey. Oh, now you want to talk. Is that my apartment? Yeah, I literally told you that I was gonna bust your door down. I thought you were joking. When do I ever joke? Constantly. Also, I'm not home. Yeah, obvs. How did you even get in? Secret. Eli. Just been chilling here for like 3 hours. Perusing your bookshelves and judging your taste in literature. I don't even remember where I got those. Also, you left your bedside drawer open. I don't know you were into that. Dylan, don't snoop. What was it though? Nothing, they're lying. Or am I? Dude, get out. Good to hear from you, buddy. Doing any better? Yeah, I think. Where were you? Just my room. For 3 weeks? You do that too, Lamau. What were you doing that whole time? Been getting lost in my own thoughts. No, don't listen to them. Unless they're good thoughts, then keep listening to them. Nah, just reminiscing. About your dream people? Yeah, actually. So, what was that about? The guy I'm supposed to know but don't for some reason? No idea, Monty didn't remember either. Still think he's real? He has to be. I don't know, dude. With Monty, it's 2v1 on the new guy. Whatever. Well, are you done reminiscing? Should have a contest with Lane for title of Ultimate Yearner. You can join too, Dill. I see you looking through your old photos all the time. It's for art reasons I'm studying compositions and shit. Right. I don't know, I felt like I was literally gone that whole time. Like physically. But yeah, I'm back. That's good. Okay, but where are you now? Ignore me for 3 weeks to take a super nap? And the one day that I come to bust you out of depression jail, you're gone? I'm at Charlie's, lol. How'd that happen? Went on a walk to the bridge, and he found me. I think he thought that I was gonna jump. He knows that doesn't work, right? Yeah, he said that. Took me back to his place. Wow, lucky. Did he cook for you? Yeah. Yay, what'd he make? Roast beef with potatoes. Nice. One time he invited me over and made me a peanut oxtail stew. It was really good. I told him that it was my favorite and hadn't had it for a long time. He's so sweet. Lol, yeah. You having him for dessert? I don't know, maybe. Yes, whore. Get off your interface and focus on your date. Not really a date. Whatever, let's hang soon. Now that you're normal again, tell me more about it later. Glad you're feeling better. Miss you. Miss you too, all. You close out the conversation and let out a sigh of relief. The distant sound of running shower comes from Charlie's bedroom. You figure you still have some time before he finishes up. Glad that went smoothly. I didn't really tell them much, but... You open up Steven's chat log. Hey, Steven. You busy right now? No, I'm here. What's up? Aren't you with Charlie? No, he's in the shower. Random question, but do you remember anyone named Iris? Nope. Who's that? Person I dreamt about. I think you were really close friends. Oh, okay. That's weird. I also saw you in a dream like a week ago. Were they nice? Seemed like it. I hadn't seen them for that long. It all felt so real, though. That's nice of you. Lol. Making some friends for Dream Me. Yeah, I guess. Steven, I still don't think that these are dreams, but I don't know what else to call them. I don't think any of these people in my head are made up. Like that other dog that you met with Dylan? Yeah, exactly. But I don't know who Iris is. And no one knows who Matthew was. Yeah, but wasn't he kind of irrelevant? Like a random guy no one really knew to begin with? Yeah. I don't think I'd forget a close friend. How could you know if you forgot them, though? I guess. Are you sure your dreams aren't just a bunch of random nonsense? That's what mine usually are. I think that's what most people's usually are, lol. Fuck, this is so annoying. Sorry. Sorry, I don't mean you. It's like I'm constantly fighting with myself and everyone else. I keep remembering things that might not even be real. Can you, invent something that records my dreams? So everyone can stop thinking I'm insane? You know what? Maybe not impossible. Shit, really? I was joking. Well, it's not for sure. But my simulations write stuff into your brain to mimic real feelings and stuff. We could try reversing it and just read your brain synapses instead. Then, if I write a simulation using those same patterns, it might be able to recreate what your brain's making you perceive. If that makes sense, I can dumb it down more if you need. No, that's easy enough to follow. Can we do that now? No, lol, I had to write some code for it. How long is that gonna take? I don't know. It took me like 30 years to figure out the simulations. Damn. I don't think it'll take anywhere near that long though, since I'm just modifying it. Plus, it's just reading, so I don't need to do any brain chemistry stuff. Sounds really interesting, but are you okay with being a lab rat? Yeah, whatever, that's fine. I just need to calibrate it to your brain at some point. Are you at the penthouse? Yeah, but we can do that anytime. No rush. This is really important to me. Gonna head over. Are you? Sorry that took so long. Wanted to be thorough. Nothing more refreshing than a long shower. Charlie comes back out, tied up with a fresh set of clothes. You catch a whiff of some kind of leathery fragrance on the wind as he comes forward. What's the plan? Did you want to crash on the couch? I can grab you some blankets and a pillow if you want. Or the bed's still on the table if you're feeling bold. You briefly look away and tuck your tail between your legs, embarrassed to turn him down. Sorry. I've actually gotta go. Something important came up. Oh? More important than me? No, sorry, it's... Haha, I kid. Yeah, that's alright. Glad to see that you've still got some stuff going on. Kind of a rarity nowadays. I'm just glad that you stayed for dinner. Get some rest when you can, yeah? I will. Thanks, Charlie. Drop in any time, Eli. You'll always have a home here. You pass by Charlie and give him one last wave as you exit his apartment. The air outside is considerably cold, at least compared to the pleasant warmth of Charlie's apartment. Having gotten used to the gentle amber lighting of his suite, the stark lights of the city are particularly harsh on your eyes. You carry on towards the penthouse. Subject is moving towards Burnett. Execute operative.key. Scanning EdenNet database. Subject unidentified in citizen records. Anomaly requires further investigation. How interesting. So, that was interesting. I have a theory, and that's gonna pretty much sum up everything that's been happening before I forget, because I'm gonna forget. I feel that this may be a simulation, that they haven't been alive for 500 years, that all of what's happening is a simulation, and over the course of the simulation, it either degrades or the simulation ends for certain people. And the people that disappear are either written out or their turn in said simulation ends. And when it ends, the people are written out of the simulation, so nobody remembers them. That's why Monty and Dylan don't remember Matthew, which is the guy that the Rottweiler that he was seeing in his dreams, that Eli was seeing in his dreams. And now, right when like what you just saw, my guess is that whoever is overseeing this whole thing doesn't have any control over Eli's, for a better word, avatar, or his own simulation, him, that he can't be forced to forget the things, like whatever this is kind of still influences him, but that it doesn't completely work on him. I'm wondering what the purpose of this simulation would be, but maybe it's a study to see how these people would survive on the moon, maybe? Or maybe it's not so much a simulation to study them, and it's more of, instead of putting everyone on the moon, we're gonna copy over their brain, stick it into some servers in order to solve the overpopulation crisis. And technically speaking, memories over the course of many years do degrade. So any memory that you have right now of when you were a child, especially if you're around my age, which is in the 30s, maybe even in the 20s, you start to sort of forget little details here and there, and you start to change little details even by remembering them. Even like if you pick a memory right now of something and you try to remember it, try to word it out, try to write it out, try to describe it, gradually all those details will start to change over and over as you keep trying to remember it. So you're not going to remember it as it happened, you're going to remember it as you think you remember it. Mostly because your brain, only picks up on certain details, and because over time it just degrades. You don't remember everything exactly how it was. Nobody has that good of a memory. I mean, maybe the people with eidetic memory, but you know what I mean. So it would be obvious to expect people that have lived for so long to forget their life on Earth, and even from the beginning. So if you recall in the previous update, when they were trying to look for photos from the past, after a certain point, they wouldn't load anymore. They would load as corrupt. So maybe that's how this also works, where the pictures aren't so much pictures as they are the person's own memories. So after a while of them living for so long, all the past quote-unquote pictures, aka memories, are starting to get corrupt, because it just can't keep up with that much of a time frame for them being alive for so long. And maybe it's possible that because they're all connected to Eli in some way, that these people are still around, that they still remember something, that they haven't disappeared yet. Even though I know that at least like one person did disappear, I think, from their friend group. I think it was a girl. I don't remember. Somebody went into the woods and then just disappeared. I kind of think that the shadows of the people that Eli was seeing at the beginning of this update are the shadows of his friends, because they were talking about spoilers. They were talking about his friends, because I know what those alien-looking letters are, because I was able to decipher them a la game theory, a la MatPat. So I'm wondering if the other Eden, what Eli was seeing is maybe like the backup, or maybe the memories that have been corrupted or lost, like what remains of them. And maybe Eli wasn't around for that though, because they don't recognize him. Anyway, so what are your thoughts? Write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play EdenBound yourself, you can do so by going down into the link in the description for the creators or for the project's Twitter page, which should be down there, which will have a direct link for the HIO page, or you can just go to HIO and download it yourself. I will also be posting down a link for their Patreon in case you want to support the project and get earlier builds of EdenBound or whatever else they might offer. Right now, currently, the gallery and the music section are not available yet, unfortunately, but you'll be able to see if they are. They do have a Discord in case you want to subscribe and not subscribe, in case you want to join and talk about the visual novel. So I'm not sure what the heart thing is, but yeah. Anyway, so thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in the next videos. Bye bye.